Their arrogance, our chains. They didn't come in peace. The Varnari fleet arrived in Earth's orbit without ceremony, without warning. Their ships, sleek obsidian crescents pulsing with deep violet light, hovered silently above every major city. Within minutes, they severed satellite communications, scrambled GPS signals, and flooded global networks with a single message. Primitive species detected. Integration imminent. Resistance is illogical. No demands. No diplomacy. Just a cold, imperial fact. Earth was theirs now. Taliu Vega watched the broadcast from the Mars engineering outpost, her hands trembling as the stream played on every screen in the control deck. The message repeated in every language known to Earth. The Varnari voice was emotionless, synthetic, like a machine reading a eulogy. She tried to connect with Earth Command. Nothing. Static. The Varnari had silenced Earth's military satellites first. Then came the surgical strikes. Precision beams of energy fell from orbit, erasing air bases, missile silos, naval yards. Cities weren't leveled. They were occupied. The aliens didn't want rubble. They wanted resources. And labor. Within hours, columns of their automata marched through streets, herding civilians into containment zones. Resistance was disorganized, futile. Fighter jets were swatted from the sky like gnats. Nuclear launch systems were dead before anyone could issue the order. Talia slumped in her chair, eyes wide and unblinking. The worst part wasn't the destruction. It was the voice, again, mocking without even realizing it. Carbon-based organisms. Analog communication. Crude energy usage. Primitive. The Varnari saw humans the way humans saw ants. Curious, sometimes clever, but not equals. Later that day, the feed from Sao Paulo flickered onto the deck's cracked holoscreen. Taliu's home. The city burned slowly under a low-hanging Varnari mothership, its gravity well distorting the skyline like a mirage. Her sister's neighborhood was gone. No screams, just smoke. The deck commander issued evacuation orders to the Martian crew. Not for Earth, for Europa. A retreat, a surrender. But Talia didn't move. She stared out the porthole, watching a speck of darkness drift above the blue planet below. A single alien destroyer hovered over the Amazon basin. That speck had erased 100,000 lives in minutes. "They think we're beneath them," she whispered. "They think we'll stay down." No one responded. Talia stood slowly, her breath shaking, her voice firm. "I won't." She turned away from the screen, grabbed the portable hard drive she'd been using to study alien signal anomalies. Her fingers closed around a wrench, a useless tool against orbiting warships. But it felt right. She had no fleet, no orders, no hope, some would say. But she had anger, memory, and time. They called Earth primitive. That was their first mistake. Talia Vega would make sure it was also their last. We learn. We adapt. We hit back. 6 months later, the world was silent and burning beneath alien machines. The Varnari had split Earth into zones. Resource extraction, population control, biological study. The Amazon was gone. Beijing, Cairo, Johannesburg, hollowed out. In the wastelands, gray towers of alien alloy pulsed with energy, sucking minerals and atmosphere for transport to the Empire's core systems. But under the surface, we adapted. Taliu Vega hunched over a rusted terminal inside an abandoned Chilean observatory, tapping lines of code into an alien datapad. Around her, dim red lights flickered, powered by a salvaged solar rig. The air reeked of oil, solder, and stubborn defiance. Her fingers paused. "Run it again," she said. Beside her, Malek, a former telecoms engineer turned resistance tech, hit the sequence. A high-pitched whine filled the room as the Varnari interface stuttered, glitched, then shifted. English. Crude, fragmented, but readable. Malek grinned. "You cracked their command line." Taliu exhaled. Weeks of intercepted transmissions, scavenged drones, and trial and error had finally paid off. The aliens had a blind spot. Their AI systems filtered out non-silicate code strings as background noise. Primitive, analog tech, like human radio bursts and magnetic relays, were considered irrelevant. Invisible. They can't detect us, she said slowly, thinking out loud. They never adapted to low-tech intrusion. They didn't think they'd need to. Because we're beneath them, Malik added. Talia nodded. Perfect. By nightfall, their team was in motion. 20 resistance fighters from 6 countries, hiding in old rail tunnels, jungles, and mountain bunkers, coordinated via burst transmissions on scavenged ham radios. Each cell had the same goal: hijack a Vanari scout ship. The aliens relied on automated patrol vessels, small, fast, and AI-piloted. But arrogant. Predictable. On the edge of the Atacama Desert, Talia's team deployed their trap, a crude EMP emitter made from car batteries and microwave parts. They lured the ship in by broadcasting simulated human distress signals. When it descended to investigate, the emitter fired. The craft dropped like a stone. The crash sent a shockwave across the plateau. Talia sprinted toward the wreck, pulse pounding, shotgun in hand. A Vanari drone crawled from the debris, clicking, its weapon arm rising. One shot sent a mass. The drone folded into the sand. The scout ship was battered, but intact. The interface flickered, resisting input, until Malik's cracked code bypassed its systems. It's responding, he said. She's flying. Talia climbed into the pilot's seat. Controls shimmered with alien symbols, but her fingers moved instinctively. Primitive interface accepted. Manual override authorized. Destination? She looked out the canopy, the black sky above dotted with distant Vanari patrol lights. Up, she whispered. The ship rumbled to life. Earth's first counterattack was ready to take flight, not sleek, not perfect, but human. Flames in orbit. Talia's hands gripped the alien flight controls as Inferno 1 punched through Earth's stratosphere, trailing heat and fury behind it. The cockpit shook, warning glyphs flashing across the console in a language she didn't read but had learned to fear. She gritted her teeth and steadied the ship. They were flying blind. No satellites, no tracking systems, but humans had navigated worse. Above her, space unfolded like a battlefield waiting to be claimed. Range to target. Malik's voice crackled through the comms. 300 clicks. Vanari relay station in low orbit, Talia said. We're going in fast. They won't see us coming. The stolen scout ship wasn't built for combat, but it had one advantage. The Vanari didn't expect it to be hostile. Their fleet AI still tagged it as friendly. That wouldn't last long. The relay station came into view, a massive hub of pulsing purple crystal and metal veins, silently coordinating orbital patrols and planetary drone swarms. It was the brain of the occupation. Talia's team had packed Inferno 1 with a payload made from scavenged missile fuel and a repurposed Vanari power core. Crude, volatile, deadly. They launched on a collision vector. Detonation timer set, Malik said, voice steady. Manual trigger on your mark. As they approached, the station's AI finally noticed them. The friendly tag flickered. Defense drones deployed. Sleek, silver wasps in tight formation. Too late. Talia yanked the controls, juking hard to the right. The drones adjusted, but the ship's heat signature split, diverted by decoy flares cobbled together from heat sinks and scrap metal. One drone clipped the hull, scarring it with plasma. Hold her steady. Malik shouted. Talia aimed the ship's nose straight at the relay car. Now, she barked. Malik slammed the trigger. Inferno 1's engines flared, and the ship lurched forward one last time, slamming into the station's heart. The explosion lit up Earth's orbit like a second sunrise. Purple lightning arced across the station's hull as the overloaded power core went critical. One by one, the drones fell limp, spinning away into darkness. Talia's escape pod detached milliseconds before impact, tumbling away in silence. She floated, dazed, watching the fireball bloom against the black. They did it. The Vanari command net over Earth flickered. Patrols lost coordination. Automated defenses glitched. Resistance cells across the globe, listening, waiting, seized the moment to strike. Back in the pod, Malik groaned, clutching his ribs. Talia smiled through the blood in her mouth. That's one, she muttered. One ship? He asked. One burn. They called us primitive. The Vinari orbit collapsed in pieces. Without the relay station, their drones operated like blind beasts, crashing into terrain, misfiring weapons, mistaking one another for enemies. In less than 48 hours, human resistance surged across continents. They fought not with fleets or AI, but with sabotage, misdirection, and sheer fury. Crude rockets fired from converted freight trains brought down patrol skiffs over Africa. In Siberia, mining crews repurposed drills into antigrave harpoons. Civilians in Mumbai coordinated blackouts to lure Vinari squads into ambush zones, fighting with machetes and molotovs. The aliens couldn't adapt fast enough. They'd never fought an enemy like this, chaotic, desperate, and unyielding. They'd never fought humans. Talia stood inside the alien warship Talzirak, now grounded and cracked open like a beetle. Its captain had survived the crash just long enough to call her sub-intellect a mistake. She looked out at the makeshift resistance base set up in the ship's ruined cargo bay. Engineers in torn jackets rigged power cables. Children handed out stolen ration packs. A rusted earth truck served as command post. Primitive, maybe, but they were still standing. Malik approached with a datapad. Vinari, jury-rigged to work in English. Intercepted a fleet transmission. They are retreating, pulling out of South America and Southeast Asia. Scans suggest half their orbital force is gone or offline. Talia didn't cheer. Not yet. Why? She asked. Because they are afraid, Malik replied. They thought this would be a pacification, a sweep. Instead, they lost ships, soldiers, control. She tapped the pad, pulling up the fleet's new pattern. The Vinari were falling back, not in tactical reformation, but in confusion. Chaos had entered the system. Tell every cell worldwide, she said. Now's the time. We don't stop. Not until their last ship breaks atmosphere. By week's end, it was no longer a resistance. It was war. A war humans didn't start, but one they had mastered. Talia flew again, this time in a reprogrammed Vinari strike ship, its sleek hull scarred by Earth's soil and fury. She led coordinated orbital assaults from captured craft, using human tactics the aliens never anticipated. Irregular flight paths, heat spike maneuvers, even kamikaze runs. From orbit, she watched as one last mothership, Zervalkin, the command carrier over Europe, shuddered and bled fire, its lower hull torn open by explosives hidden in a freight elevator shaft. The Vinari tried to launch. They barely cleared the atmosphere before its core detonated in silent, glorious fire. Talia watched it burn. A broadcast echoed across human and alien frequencies alike, carried by hacked Vinari tech. We are the species you called primitive. We are the ones who grow stronger under pressure. You came expecting surrender. You left us no choice but to become your extinction. On every screen still active on Earth, alien ships were seen falling, crashing, burning, failing. And from the rubble, humanity rose.